Is anyone paying attention? Is anyone paying attention to what's happening right now? Is anyone connecting the dots like me? There is people who watch these videos that are paying attention to what's happening to our society, to what's happening politically, what's happening culturally, the decay of things. If you look at Jackson, Mississippi, they don't have running water. There's infrastructure failure there. Flint, Michigan, their water's still not fixed. What is it? 8 years later, still not fixed. Meanwhile, we're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. Okay. Are people understanding that they are just taking and taking? The same goes for the workers. The people who produce, they just get taken advantage of. They keep taking and taking, and the top people just sucking everything out of them. We are being sucked dry. Our wealth is being evaporated here in America. We're being turned into a third world country. Like we are on the path to Venezuela, but it looks like it'll be worse. It's hard to. Well, if they come out with the price controls, that's a big thing that was a big demise in Venezuela. But look at Jackson, Mississippi. Raw water, sewage went through their pipes. Why did this happen? Why is this happening? Why is nothing being done about it? You think that these are going to be isolated areas? You think that other places aren't going to fail? That's just the tip of the spear. And I don't know if it's because they don't have enough people that are skilled enough to do this job, or it's just being neglected. Somebody neglected something, or sabotage. I don't know. But I see a pattern now. I see a pattern. It might not be the same reason. What happened in Flint, Michigan, but it's something similar at least. Failure in their water system. Now, men usually work these jobs. You can get a couple women, but it's a handful of women compared to men, especially doing the hands-on dirty jobs. So when women say they don't need men, they don't need men to do these fucking jobs. Women say that they just don't need us. They don't understand that we are the ones that are keeping this infrastructure going. We are the ones keeping these communities going. And if we stop working, if we stop giving a damn, you're going to see more of this, a lot more of this. And this should scare the hell out of women. But I don't think a lot of women are even paying attention or even give a damn, because it's always, oh, it can never happen to me. That's the mentality we have here in America. The average American is so ignorant. They think that, oh, it can't happen here. Oh, Concentration camps can't happen here, even though they already did happen here. In World War II, Japanese people were rounded up and sent to concentration camps here in America. So you don't think that can happen here? You don't think that America could turn into a third world country? You don't think that can happen? Why? Because you're used to a certain way of life? You don't see the deterioration of every aspect of our culture, of our family structure? You don't see the destruction? And it's not like this America is being destroyed and being replaced with something better. It's being replaced with chaos. The thing about chaos is order is made out of chaos. So things will get better. I don't think that we'll be a superpower again. I mean, the big dogs, I don't know what we're gonna go into. The idea of America, and I know is a contradictory thing of freedom when America was, we had Americans fighting for freedom from the tyranny of Britain, meanwhile having slaves. It's very contradictory. It's very hypocritical. But you can definitely take the idea and throw out horrible aspects of how things were, and it doesn't have to be like that. But it's possible that we might go back to that. It's possible that we go back to that indentured servitude comes back. You think it can't happen? It's possible that slavery comes back. They're trying to shut down infrastructure. They're trying to create famine. Well, if we don't have electricity to farm, people are still going to farm. They'll just go back to old school ways. What are old school ways? What are old school ways? I don't like to I'm not trying to fearmonger or nothing. I just connect dots, man, and I'm paying attention to what's happening. And I could be wrong with some things, definitely. I just don't blindly think that everything's going to be okay. And it could be. Everything could end up fine, but I think there's going to be some suffering. The only way to rid this cancer of feminism is suffering and pain. That's it. These females that are so empowered and feel like they don't need men at all, and these boys that, stay boys for their whole lives and don't want to grow up. They don't have to grow up, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to. There's no incentive. There's no incentive, really. You got to work way too hard to try to obtain a woman's affection nowadays. It's not like the old days. The standards are too high, and it's because of men. Women's egos are so inflated because of simps, because of online. I hear it all the time on the internet. Why aren't men approaching women anymore? Well, they are. It's just not in person. It's gonna be very interesting to see what the world may entail going forward. I think I don't know. It's hard to look at things and think, oh man, this is gonna happen. But I can see the breakdown of society. I've seen it. It's because I've seen the family breakdown. Well, now like every aspect of what is good about America, what other countries admire, is being broken down as well, and there's so much confusion. There's so much confusion being thrown at us because, like, what is actually good is being ridiculed. I made a comment on somebody's TikTok, and like people were just commenting and they're saying the most ignorant things because they think Antifa are not fascist. The whole definition of fascism is oppressing other people with violence or the threat of violence, especially their speech, and that's what Antifa does. But then they turn around and call people like me fascist. Biden's coming out saying people like me are semi-fascist. Biden's coming out saying, well, 74 million people voted for Trump. 74 million Americans are fascist. Well, if you look at the people who voted and you look at the children, pretty much the same people who voted for Trump, their kids are probably more aligned with that type of mentality of freedom, logic, reason. So at least half of America are probably labeled as fascist. And the left, they don't really have as many kids as the people on the right. So you're pretty much, I would say, if I had, and I know that people keep voting Democrat, but they don't realize what the Democrats are going into because they're ignorant. They don't pay attention. They just think, oh, it's the classical liberal ideology, which I agreed with, because it seemed like when I was growing up, the Republicans were kind of tyrannical authoritarians, and things have switched dramatically, because what I see right now on the left is far worse than what I seen on the right. What I didn't like on the right was they always seemed like they wanted to go to war. And I was young, I didn't pay 100% attention to like what I'm paying attention to now. But I did see like attacks on freedom of speech, censorship from the right. But now it's the opposite. And the side that I was on, the left, the Democrats, the liberals, are for speech suppression. Yeah, it's I don't know what's coming. Something's coming, man. There's gonna be some kind of major breakdown, some kind of chaos, calling, revolution, civil war, maybe World War III. I don't know, but there's a lot of sheep out there that want to bury their heads in the sand and not pay attention at all, which is, in my opinion, really crucial to pay attention to what's happening right now. You won't have the luxury to not pay attention coming up very soon. That luxury is going to be taken away because things are somewhat okay in most places. We're still going to work and pretending like everything's okay. That's because we still have food in our bellies. Well, once there isn't food in our bellies, or most of us can't afford energy prices, whether it's gas to get where we need to go, or natural gas to heat our houses during the winter, which is more important to heat your house during a bitter cold than it is to cool your house down in the heat. Which heat is bad too if it's too hot. But there's ways to cool, and it goes both ways. But if most people don't have that no more, then they're gonna have to wake up. You can't just sit here and be asleep. You can't just sit here and focus on sports ball. I used to love sports ball, man. I still played on the video game, but when I'm playing it, I'm listening to like what's going on right now. I'm not just like focused on the stats and every single player like I used to. I play the game for fun, something to like keep my mind on something when I'm listening to stuff. Just like when I'm playing guitar, like I'm figuring out learning something new on guitar. Well, not learning something new on guitar, but coming up with some kind of new riff. I'm listening to some kind of podcast or something. A lot of people don't want to pay attention. They might have some kind of dinosaur mentality of what they think is happening, and they don't see like how radical the people on the left have become, and how the people on the left are just pawns for the elites to destroy our country, and those people on the left who are doing all the dirty work are just going to be left out to dry by the elites. They don't have their back. I think that we're going to go through some stuff, but I think it's going to end up okay. I think there's going to be chaos coming, and the people who survive that chaos are going to have they will build a good future. So that's all I got.